Hello children, welcome to your maths class. Today we are going to start with the topic of decimals. Decimals is the extension of fractions with the denominator as 10, 100, 1000, 10,000 or so on. What are decimals? Decimals can be considered as fractions whose denominators are 10, 100, 1000, etc. The numbers expressed in the decimal form are called decimal numbers or decimals. For example, 5.1, 4.09, 13.83, etc. A decimal has two parts, whole part and decimal part. These parts are separated by a dot called the decimal point. Here is an example, 428.12. If we consider the place values of these numbers, this is the whole number with 8 at 1's place, 2 at 10's place and 4 at 100's place. Then there is a decimal point. After the decimal point, immediately towards the right, the place value is 10th and then 100th, or we call it 100th, 1/10th. These are the decimal values. Let's make it more clear with the help of decimal place value chart. Example 211.35. If we put this in the place value chart, the numbers will appear like this. 1 in 1's place on the left hand side of the decimal, 1 in 10's place and then 2 in 100's place. Moving towards the right side of the decimal, 3 at 10's place and 5 at 100's place. Let's now understand how we read the decimal numbers. Step 1. Read the whole number part if there is one. Step 2. Read the decimal point as and or point. Step 3. Pretend the rest of the digits form a whole number. Step 4. Say the place value of the last digit. Here are some examples which will make it more clear. For example, if we want to read this number, we will read it as 26.45 hundredth, as 4 is at 10th place and 5 is at 100th place. We always speak the place of last digit. Here 26 and 45 hundredths. The point can be read as point or and. Coming to the next example, this will be read as 10.21 thousandths, as 1 is at 1000 place, 10th, 100th, 1000th, and as I told you that we always speak the place value of the last digit in the decimal number. Here 10 and 21 thousandths. Next example, 15 and 998 thousandths. Here Coming to the writing of decimal numbers. Here are some number names given to us and we have to write them in numbers. 10 and 2 hundredths. This means 10 is the whole number. At the place of and we will put the decimal point and 2 is at hundredths place. There is no digit at tens place, so we will add a 0 like this. 10.02 and it will be read as 10 and 2 hundredths. Next one, 19 and 5 tenths. So we write it as 19.5. Next, 20 and 200 thousandths. So we write it 20.200. 20.200 thousandths. The last one, 32 and 28 thousandths. Now 32 is the whole number, so we write 32. In place of and we put a decimal point and the next number is 28 thousandths. Again there is no digit at tenths place, so we put a 0 over there like this, 32.028. Converting fractions to decimals. Fractions with the denominator as 10, 100 and thousandths can be expressed in decimals. For example, 28 by 10, 549 by 100, 367 by thousandths. To express these as fractions, we count the number of zeros in the denominator, then count the digits in the numerator from left to right and put the decimal point after as many digits as there are zeros in the denominator. For example, here we have the fraction 28 by 10. Now here 10 has 1 0. So 28 in 28, counting from ones place, we will count one digit and put a decimal point. So the answer which we will get is 2.8. Coming to the next one, 549 by 100. Now 100 has 2 zeros in it. So counting from ones place, 1 and 2, we put a decimal point here between 5 and 4. So the number will become 5.49. Next, 367 by 1000. 1000 has 3 zeros in it. So we put the decimal point after 1, 2 and 3 digits. That is before 3. So there is no number before 3. We put a 0 then. So the answers will be 2.8, 5.9, 0.367, or as we read them, 2 and 8 tenths, 5 and 49 hundredths, 0 and 367 thousandths. Here are some more examples. 3 by 10 can be written as 0.3 after one decimal point. 17 by 100 can be written as 0.17 as there are 2 zeros and we will put decimal point after 2 digits. 5 by 100. Now here 100 has 2 zeros in it, but we have only one digit on the top, that is 5. So to make 2 digits, we add a 0 in front of it and then put a decimal point. So the number will become 0.05. Next, 323 by 1000. 3 zeros in the denominator, so decimal will come after 3 digits, 1, 2 and 3 decimal point, and we add a 0 in front because there is no other digit. 47 by 1000. 1000 has 3 digits, but we have only 2 digits in the numerator. So we add a 0 in front of it, as we have to put the decimal point after 3 digits. So the number will become 0.047. Last one, 9 by 1000. Again, 1000 has 3 digits, but in the numerator we have only 1 digit, that is 9. So to make it 3 digit, we put 2 zeros in front of it, and the answer in decimals which we get is 0.009. Converting mixed fractions to decimal numbers. Now here the whole number in the mixed fraction, that is the whole number in the decimal part also, and decimal will come after this point only, that is 2 point. Now we look at the fraction part. Fraction part has 1 0 in the denominator, so point will come after 1 digit, that is after 6. So the total number which we get, or the final number which we get, is 2.6. Coming to the next example, 324 by 100. 3 is our whole number, so we write it as it is, and we put a decimal point also. Now here 100 has 2 zeros, so decimal will also come after 2, 4 and 2, 1 decimal, so the number is 3.24. Next example we have 3 4 by 100. 3 is the whole number. After that we put a decimal point. Now here 100 has 2 zeros, and in the numerator we have only 1 digit. So to make it 2 digit, we add a 0 in front of it, as we want the decimal to be after 2 digits. So the number which we get in decimal is 3.04. Decimals to fractions. To convert decimal to fraction, count the number of digits in the decimal part. This is the same as number of zeros in the denominator. Let's make it more clear with the examples. Now here we have 0.5. To convert it into fraction, the first thing is that we write the digits given as it is, which form our numerator. 5, 5. This is our numerator. To decide upon denominator, we see how many digits are there after the decimal point. Now after the decimal point we have here only 1 digit. So our denominator will be 10, as 10 has only 1 zero in it. Moving on to next, 0.72. 72 will become our numerator. Deciding the denominator, after decimal point we have 2 digits, so our denominator will be 100, as 100 has 2 zeros in it. Moving on to next one, 0.638. So first 638 will become our numerator. Denominator will be 1000, as there are 3 digits after decimal point. Here are more examples. 0.32. This will be equal to 32 by 100. 32 will become our numerator, and 2 digits after decimal point, so denominator will be 100. Now next one, 1.25. The numerator will be 125. We write this entire number as the numerator without the decimal point. Now we look at the digits after the decimal point. There are only 2 digits, so we will write 100 as denominator. Hope the concept is clear to you. The only way to learn mathematics is to do mathematics. Do practice sums and you will master the concept. Thank you.